Hey, this is Stacia, and this is an exciting new day because we are starting a new series. And this time, since I finally reached, I should say we finally reached, because you guys are always with me, 1800 on chess.com, I'm just going to let my rating sit there for a while. I'm not going to risk going under 1800 the very next game. But of course, I want to play a lot more chess. So I'm switching my new goal to lichess.org, where my classical rating is currently pretty low. It's under 1800. And, well, I think I could get it to 2000. So, I mean, 1900, certainly. 2000 will be a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. Um, I'm up for the challenge. And, well, I'm calling it the rise to 2000 because I'm rising from the ashes like a phoenix. Okay, too much Harry Potter lately. Um, all right, so there's the phoenix, and let's go ahead and look at the very first game. And this one, well, guess what? It's my favorite, the Smith-Morra Gambit. So let's have a look at it. E4, C5, the Sicilian defense. E4 takes, C3 takes, and knight takes. And so far, it's the main line of the Smith-Morra Gambit, and he played D6. Now, I can tell you that my opponent actually, he thought quite a bit in the opening, so I guess he wasn't familiar with this, but just so you know, this is classical on Lichess, so I picked 30-minute, 20-second increment. Now, that's my kind of chess. Okay, it's still rapid, but at least it's slower than 15:10. Okay, so anyway, let's continue. I'm going to play normal developing moves. That's one nice thing about the Smith-Morra Gambit, is that it's very easy to get our pieces out. He played E6, which I do think is fine. This is called the Scheveningen pawn structure, which you do see in the Sicilian. So since this comes from a Sicilian, that makes sense. So I just simply castled, and he played bishop e7, which I'm not sure about this move. Actually, it's probably fine. I do think this is an idea. I think it is. And I do think a6 is usually played. So now that I'm sort of unsure what's going on, I do want to consult the opening book here. Okay, bishop e7's the main move. Shows what I know. But I guess if you are going to put your knight on f6, then you can go ahead and play bishop e7. It's sort of committal, though, so you got to be sure that, I mean, this is a move like in Morra Gambit and Evans Gambit alike. If you're going to put your knight on f6, you better be very careful, because e5 can just crash down and win the game. So you have to be really sure when you play that move. But okay, maybe he knows theory. He was remembering bishop e7. Okay, so the normal plan from here is queen e2, rook d1. So I did that. Yeah, bishop d7 is unusual. I'll say that it's an unusual move, and I was definitely expecting a6, or even probably he could play knight f6 here. I think he can. Right? Like e5 is a little too early, and maybe it's not. I don't know. Because here, rook d1, queen c7, knight b5, queen b8. Oh, there's no knight b5. Or, yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. I don't think we played a6 in the variation. So, I guess he could go knight f6 here. a6 is probably also decent. But let's see what the engine says. Well, the engine does give it in the top 3. It likes a6 the best. And then it likes queen c7. Usually these two moves are kind of tied together. So like, if you go queen c7, knight b5 is going to come. You're going to have to go queen b8, a6. So that's going to happen. So a lot of times they just play a6 first, preparing queen c7 so they don't get hit with a tempo. On the other hand, if we do the other way, white's losing tempos too. But I have to admit, I like the one where the knight jumps in because well, I guess either way, I like that the dark squares, especially b6, become a playing ground for the white pieces. Like, just imagine bishop e3 and either like knight a4 or sometimes knight d5, and we're getting in there. That happens a lot on b6. Okay, so he played this. There's nothing wrong with it that I can see, but it's different. They don't normally do this. I think it has pros and cons, honestly. Like, a con might be that after a6, b5, bishop b7, when the bishop is here, it's actually quite good. It's supporting d5. It's maybe targeting e4. Sometimes the bishop can target the knight on f3. On the other hand, this takes less time to develop, but it does block the pawn. But it would also block any pins. So anyway, I'm saying a lot of things. Sorry about that. So rook d1 anyway, because that was my plan, and I played these moves quickly, and queen c7 was now played. Okay, so I see the engine likes this for white. I wasn't so convinced during the game. I mean, I do want to go knight b5, of course I do. And that is basically a fork on the queen and the pawn. So the queen must maintain defense of the pawn and go queen b8. So this is what I calculated, knight b5, queen b8. Now I can go bishop f4. And that's going to attack the pawn again. It kind of forces e5. Now e5 is what I sometimes call a change in the landscape. Like, I kind of think of the pawns as like, they make like a world map for our pieces. And after e5, the world map shifts quite a bit because d6 becomes permanently weak and d5 becomes a hole in the position for our pieces. And a lot of times white won't have like crazy attacks and immediate wins anymore. But white does get compensation in the form of this backwards pawn and the d5 square. So I think it's pretty interesting. Well, plus a lead in development. Let's not forget that either. So, okay, I did do this. I couldn't find anything better. I mean, if I don't play that move, then what am I doing? That's kind of how I felt. So I did play it. Let's see what the engine says. Yeah, it likes it. So knight b5, I thought queen b8 is kind of forced. If here we take the pawn, like, at least that's what I thought. I mean, I feel like this is just amazing for us now. So, and I might have this, and okay. So they have to go queen b8, and then I thought bishop f4. Okay, so the engine approves of this. e5, this is what I calculated, so it was right. And now here I have a decision to make. This decision comes up a lot, and I never know what's right, so I think it depends on the position, unfortunately. So I can choose to bring my bishop out to g5. I could do that and try to, offer a trade like this. And that would target f7. And with the knight still here, that's maybe good. So he might even go, like, if here, maybe knight f6. But I'm actually wondering if I just take now. He can't really take with the bishop here because I'll take the pawn. I'm realizing. right? Take the pawn with check. I like taking pawns with check. So they would have to take with the G pawn, and I mean, if that's true, I do like white. I mean, usually there's enough play in these positions because the king's in the center and the double pawns and the weaknesses and stuff. So okay, bishop G5, interesting. Instead, I chose this one, bishop E3. So this is not as strong. Bishop G5 is stronger. And wow, bishop takes E5 is a move. Oh boy. Okay, I'm turning off the engine. I've seen this before, but I did not even consider it in the game. So what is going on here? It probably has to do with like a sack on F7 is my guess. But okay, let's say we take. Wow, this is pretty wild. So they can choose to take with a knight or a pawn. Trying to understand what's going on here. I really don't know. All right, I'm just going to put it on the board. I really don't know what's going on here. Let's just say this. Now, if they take with a pawn, rook takes D7. Wow. Okay. We already sacked one piece. Now let's sack an exchange. Wow. So I think, you know, they have to take this. Now we can take here. I mean, I'm not so convinced by this. Okay, the computer likes it less now. It wants bishop to B4. Bishop to B4. Okay, if I was black, I would really want to play well, let's think, you know, this rook's coming in. This queen's coming in. Scary, right? So let's play the computer line. Bishop E4, Queen C4. I don't really understand this, so I'll just play a move for black. Let's just say this. Queen C4 wins. Queen C4 wins. Wow. Yeah, that's brutal. So we're threatening that, followed by this, I think. That's crazy. So, like, let's just say I do nothing. Computer likes this first. And bishop D6, queen E6 check, king D8. Take. Taking with the rook, because we like that. Queen has to take. Queen check. Yeah, this is pretty wild. Wow. Bishop takes E6. That's going to be my flashcard for the game. What an amazing move. There's a lot of ideas based on that. Okay, well, I want to know those. I bet you that they're in Mayhem from the Morra, so I'm going to try to look it up there. But I played bishop E3, and he went A6, attacking the knight, and wow. Again, another sacrifice I did not see. Knight takes D6 check is possible. But why on earth is that possible? They would have to take with a bishop. I can see that. But then what? What is going on? queen d3 is now good. Or queen d2. So apparently we just want to... Oh. Okay, I see it now. I mean, queen d3. So double attack on the bishop. But if the bishop moves away, double attack on this bishop. Wow. I did not see that. Oh, wow. The Morra is amazing. There's always so much stuff. So these two ideas, I mean, they're not totally winning. I'm not saying that they're totally winning, but you can play that way and it puts a lot of pressure on both players, I'll say. So I actually prefer to go into it. But okay, I played here and now position's about equal. So, and that's what's crazy is that sometimes you have to make these moves to keep your advantage in the Morra Gambit, which I think is just, you know, fascinating, interesting, and super fun. So, okay. Knight c3 is what I played. So I'm like, you know, I'm just going to come into d5 and I have compensation for a pawn. That's what I thought. And that is true, but nothing more than that. Okay, he played b5, bishop b3. He got knight f6. So I decided to now play bishop g5, which the engine doesn't like. So it wants to bring the rook first. And I thought if I did this, he would simply castle. And then it just wants knight d5 or, well, it likes bishop g5 now. It likes knight d5 though, which I don't understand. So let's look at, it wants that here too, I think. Okay, so I was very hesitant to put my knight here when, number one, he can just take it. I guess that's good for me, maybe. But number two, he could take my pawn. So, I guess I have this move. I just noticed that. So let's see if that is true. I would think this. And it wants, yeah, knight b6, queen d3, or just develop the rook first. Wow. But this does look reasonable to me. I'm not sure what he should do. The computer wants to sack the exchange. I mean, a reasonable move might be this. Oh, it doesn't work. Wow, this is stronger than I thought. You know that? Because if the rook goes here, I'm going to take and be attacking the rook. So this is strong. And the computer just wants knight f6, guarding that, I guess. But we could take an exchange. But we did lose a pawn doing that, so it's still a game. White's better, though. Okay, wow. I'm learning a lot this game. There's a lot I don't know, apparently. So the other thing is, what if he takes the knight? So let's look at that. If he takes it, we don't care. We just take with a bishop. Now this knight is pinned. And rook ac1 is coming, so if castles, rook ac1. And he can go queen e8. Helping to guard the knight, I think, is the idea there. Yeah, and trying to help the rook come out. The rook would rather be here, so the queen's sliding out of the way to make room for the rook, but also x-ray defending the knight. So this is all pretty interesting. And then here I guess we go queen d2, which I have no idea why. None. No reason. No reason. Maybe we're invading at some point. I don't know, but maybe we're going to do that. Okay, but equal position from here. So cool to know. I think this game's really interesting. I hope that you guys think so too. The Morra Gambit is just, the ideas that come out of these middle games are sometimes really crazy. Okay, but anyway, I just decided to go with this bishop g5 idea. It's a very basic idea. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm just going to take and plop my knight in. So that's what I did. And computer likes black a little bit now, but not too much. But, you know, black has to be careful. There's still play for white here, for sure. Okay, he played this move. Yeah, like, for example, this move's a mistake. I mean, that looks innocent, right? And I figured out that it was a mistake during the game, I think. Let's see if I played the right move. I played rook ac1. Engine likes it. Okay, the knight is hanging, right? The knight has to move. He can't really do this, and I also saw that he can't take that because then I go here. Now the knight's pinned and attacked, so black's going to lose material. So probably they need to, you know, retreat the knight or defend. They decided to defend. But now, that just unprotected the d-pawn. And not only that, but when I take here, it's going to wreck the black king side. I call this the broken castle. That's my new phrase for this pawn structure. So I'm telling my kids. All right, so of course I did this. I decided to take the bishop first. Yeah. This is actually an interesting decision because do I really want to allow that? I mean, I can now take the knight if I want to. But I wasn't so sure about this. I thought, you know, yeah, actually, that looks horrible, doesn't it? I'm going to have to sack. I didn't see that exact move, but yeah, I didn't see that part. So I'm glad I didn't do that. But instead I decided to take because I decided that I like playing against this. I think that's fine. Of course, now he can try stuff like this. Okay, but this pawn is attacked and the knight's attacked. So I was like, is he really going to go like knight d8? Like, you just can't play moves like that. And he did. He went knight d8. So, okay. But, you know, the onus is on me now because black's position looks ridiculous. But, you know, how do I win? So I was looking at some different moves here. Queen c2 came to mind. Queen c2 looks interesting. It stops rook c8. So that could be nice. If he tries rook a7 or rook f7, I'm not sure what I would do there. Maybe triple. I don't even know. But I thought that was a move to consider. But then I looked at rook c d1 or rook 1 d1. And the idea there is to put my rook on d7 and then sack the knight and play queen h5 and try to mate him. I thought that'd be fine to go for. So I did play it. Let's see if it was right. It isn't right. The computer likes h3. Okay. Why on earth would I play h3? I'm not going to play h3. I'm disgusted by that move. I really am. I mean, I guess it's because back rank threats are going to come into the position, because they do. I definitely know they do, but I feel like black has some kind of consolidating move here. I don't know what, but like, what if they just go like, I mean, is rook c8 a thing? Maybe? Probably not. We'd probably go rook d1. Yeah. So it doesn't really do anything. And okay, but what about, you know, I'm just gonna play this to try and free up the knight. I guess then we go knight h2. Wow, the computer is really slow playing this. Kind of surprised at that. So I guess black's in more of a bind than I thought, but it's hard for me to understand why. All right, so I played more direct. You know, like, hey, rook d7. So he moved his king. I think he saw that. Well, here's what he saw. Let's say he played nothing. Like, yeah, let's say he just played this. I mean, just for argument's sake. I thought, you know, this move. And after here, I was going to play knight takes e5, takes, check, here, checkmate. So he saw that threat. So that's why he put the king on g8. Now if I try the same exact thing, which I do play rook d7, but now it's not going to be the same thing because this isn't check anymore. So, and he'll have some options like maybe knight f7, rook f7, or even rook g8. Those are the ones I thought about. So I did play this move. I mean, it looks too good, right? It's too good. And queen c6, because what else? And now I saw a terrifying variation. Okay, because I want to go queen h5, you know, and mate him next move. That would be really great. And if he tries to block, maybe I could just take it. I don't know. But here's what I saw. I saw knight takes, pawn takes, queen h5, and then he has this move, queen takes e4. And that move is just terrifying because it guards that threat. And the other thing I wanted to do was take on e5, and it guards that too. So let's see if that's correct. So if takes, takes, queen h5. I think queen takes e4. Yeah, and I think black's better now. And wow, I was right. Black is better now, right? Look, that queen just won a pawn and defended everything. And now I'm just in trouble now. How sad is that? Okay, so I didn't do that. But I probably did sack my knight. Let's see. Okay, I did sack my knight. But I had a different idea in mind here. Wow. So this position's equal. Okay, that's my kind of equal. I sack a piece and it's equal. Okay, I can't even believe what the engine is saying now. It's saying there's one move that gives a huge advantage for white. Guess what that move is? h3. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. h3. Okay, so apparently these back rank threats that are going to come are a big deal. I didn't do that. I played queen g4. Okay, and I had some ideas here. And I was low on time. You can probably see 3 minutes, so I wasn't entirely sure. But I thought, you know, gotta trust my calculation. I don't know. So I thought he had a few defensive ideas. He has rook g8, rook f7, and knight f7. I thought all of those, you know, make some sense. If rook f7, I can take the knight. So that can't be right, you know. This doesn't seem too good. You know, mostly because he's getting mated now. So he can't do that one. So I thought knight f7 is also possible. Now here, here I was going to play queen h5, which I see the engine does not like. My idea was if he takes here, I was going to, you know, take this. Yeah, and the engine does like this for white. So I was right about this. But he doesn't have to take there. Instead, he goes rook a d8. Oh. Okay, now we see why h3 is so important. Yeah, now we see why. Now my rook is pinned. Because I'm going to get checkmated if I move my rook. But if I take, he can take with this rook. And I'm still getting checkmated. And if I take and he takes... Yeah, what's up with this? Let's just look for a second. I pretty much have to take. I don't see anything better. So he would take. I don't have that check, but I can take this pawn with check. So I would definitely do that. Now this. Yeah, this is so sad. Now I have a fork, and I could win the knight. But after I do that, I get mated. So I would have to do something else. Wow, so black's better here because black's up a piece. We have some pawns though. Crazy. Okay, so those were the two defenses. So we looked at rook f7, which loses for black. This one is actually pretty good. But there's also rook g8, which I calculated. And here I thought, now queen h4. Okay, there's a better move. Queen f3 is better. Same idea though. The idea is that after queen h4, I'm maintaining defense of this pawn. Now the queen can't defend that. Okay, but also I'm threatening check. And that looks pretty strong. So I thought this is pretty strong. What can he possibly do here? So he actually just resigned. That's all he did. I guess that's reasonable. It's hard for me to understand what else. If here, yeah, I could just take the knight, right? Like I could do that. But I could also go queen f6. That looks kind of nasty. That's double attacked now. Yeah, good luck defending it. And I don't really care about this anymore. Because that's mate. But even if you don't have that, you have this. Thought this seemed pretty good, right? Like, you can't even take it. I don't think. Like, if you take it, I just take. You pretty much have to block. I go queen f6, and that's mate. Yeah, so wow, I'm really happy about that. I saw this queen h4 idea. Okay, if you look at my time, watch what happens. 5 minutes on rook c to d1, and after king g8, 2 minutes on that move, and after this one, 10 minutes. 10 minutes I spent because I was trying to work it all out. And even though I didn't find a knockout blow, I did see queen g4, queen h4. I saw that idea. I saw takes and those ideas. And I calculated those 3 defenses from this position. So, hey, that's not bad for me. I can actually calculate a little bit. Shout out to Brian Castro for calculation training. So wow, I couldn't be happier with this game. I'm actually thrilled. So I made some bad moves in the middle game though. There were some very strong ideas I missed. So if I was going to highlight some key moments, I would say that this is one of them because bishop g5 is a move as well as bishop takes c5. And I think both those ideas are very interesting. And then here, there's knight takes d6, which is just amazing, right? Because it went knight takes d6, bishop takes, and we just pile up on the d file, you know, and that's attacked twice. If it moves, we take that one. So that's a really cool idea too. I'm sure it will come up again. These tactics in the more middle games, you see them again and again. At least that's what I think, but yeah, and I don't know, this plan here is a bit weak. I think knight d5 right away is correct, and that's what I'll do next time. I was worried about this, but we have this move. And that's winning for white. And if they take, we just take with a bishop, and this is okay, which I didn't realize during the game. But this is totally fine, so I could play this way. So anyway, I guess that's it. Then the fun part of the game came later when I won a pawn and got a huge attack and actually managed to find, I mean, the engine hates this move. It causes it a blunder. So how would the engine defend the attack? Sorry, I know I'm going over this. So I have to play h3 here. Wow. But what if I do, what would the engine do against my attack? It would go knight f7. This is the only move that holds. The other two defenses I mentioned, this one and this one, they both lose. So you have to find this move, which looks, I don't know, it does look good. I thought this was decent. So, and then here I was going to go queen h4, and then the engine is just going to go here. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what to do now, I guess. I might go here. I guess I would get a draw. Okay. I'll take a draw against Stockfish. Okay, anyway, I know that I was really thorough that game, but we are going to have fun on this journey to 2000. So hope to see you next time. All right, thanks. Bye.